Hello and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Here's a look at some of the stories we're bringing you today.
At this hour, the candidates for governor.
The race for governor heating up today with the only debate with all of the candidates before early voting begins. In less than 2 minutes, we'll show you some of the moments when candidates faced off.
Hospitals around the nation are seeing more cases of a common respiratory illness that can be life-threatening. I'm Wendy Gillette with what parents need to know about RSV.
Plus, Taylor Swift's 10th studio album, Midnights, is out now. More on the project Swift describes as the stories of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout her life just ahead. But first, the weekend is knocking on our doors. Meteorologist Corrales Ortiz is here with us. What can we expect for Friday and then going into the weekend?
As you can see behind you, not a single cloud in sight. It is an absolutely beautiful day. Here's a look at what we're seeing temperature-wise, sitting in the low 70s here already across the natural state. Let's go ahead and pull up that graphic real quick. Thank you. A few pockets still in the 60s, but as we continue on later this afternoon, we'll be warming up into the low 80s for much of the region, even a few locations nearing the mid 80s later this afternoon. Sunny skies continuing, warm breeze out of the south and west. Winds will begin to pick up as we enter the weekend. Still expecting fair and warm conditions for you guys. Looking pretty good for your weekend forecast, but we do have some changes coming away, including a little bit more favorable chances for some substantial rain. I'll explain in the forecast coming up.
Thanks, Corrales. The countdown to Election Day is on, and Arkansas voters are getting ready to cast their ballot. All week, candidates from several of the big races have made their case in a series of debates. And today, the three frontrunners in the race for governor met for the first time on stage. Republican Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Democrat Chris Jones, and Libertarian Ricky Dale Harrington Jr. debated about several issues impacting Arkansas, including taxes, gender-confirming care, and finding common ground. When asked about their overall message to voters, here's what each candidate had to say.
I'm tired of watching Arkansas compete at the bottom. I'm tired of us being 46th and 47th in all of the places I know that we can be first and second. Arkansas needs both a fighter and a leader, someone who pushes back against the bad policy, but has heart and vision and the ability to move us forward. I'm running for governor because I know that every single decision I'll make as governor will have a direct impact on the life of my kids, as well as the life of every kid growing up in this state.
The Bible commands that believers love each other. So I want you all to know that I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's love that's going to break the exhaustive grip of chaos and usher us into a better community. A community where Arkansans are living, working as neighbors together. I'm Chris Jones, and I'm humbly asking for your vote. It's a vote for the future. It's a vote for Arkansas and Arkansans. It's about time.
We need to take hold of that birthright. We need to exercise it. Because if we continue to abdicate our authority as a people to the machinations of party power, we will continue to see what we have been seeing for the past decades. We can't blame libertarians for these problems. Vote different. Free your mind.
If you missed this morning's debate, you can watch it right now on the THB 11 YouTube channel. We'll also have a breakdown of some of the big moments tonight at 5 and 6. Meanwhile, the candidates for U.S. Senate will debate this afternoon. It starts at 1 p.m. on Arkansas PBS and THB 11's YouTube channel. Senator John Bozeman looks likely to keep his seat for another term. The new October poll has him with a solid 20-point lead over Democrat Natalie James, Libertarian Kenneth Cates at 3%. 13% of those polls are still undecided. And in the race for Attorney General, current Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin is pulling away. 57% of respondents say they plan to vote for Griffin. That's up 8% in the last month. Griffin has a 26-point lead over Little Rock trial attorney and Democrat Jesse Gibson at 31%. 12% are undecided. Of course, the races are not over until November 8th, Election Day. THV 11 is keeping you informed ahead of early voting, which starts Monday. Arkansas's Attorney General is now planning to appeal after a judge tossed out a lawsuit against student loan debt relief. Arkansas was among 6 states challenging President Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt. The judge ruled the Republican-led states didn't have what's called standing to bring the case, saying they can't prove the plan harms them. AG Leslie Rutledge filed new court documents last night in preparation to appeal. And remember, to make things easier for you, we have all of our explainers on the big ballot issues, along with where the candidates stand on those issues on our website, thv11.com. Just text the word VOTE to 501-376-1111. We'll send our brand new voter guide straight to your phone. And don't forget to join us for a special election edition of 6:30 Central, where we will be taking a closer look at the big races and issues. Now that's tonight at 6:30. Former Trump aide Steve Bannon received his punishment today for failing to cooperate with the congressional committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
A defiant Steve Bannon ignored protesters' shouts as he arrived at federal court for his sentencing.
Remember, this illegitimate regime, their judgment day is on 8 November, when the Biden administration ends.
A district judge sentenced the former aide to then-President Trump to 4 months in prison plus a fine. A jury convicted him in July of 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with a subpoena from the January 6th committee for testimony and documents about the planning of the Capitol attack.
Bannon, who previously called members of the committee gutless, becomes the first person with close ties to former President Trump to be sentenced to prison time in the fallout from the Capitol attack.
Trump's former trade advisor, Peter Navarro, is expected to stand trial next month. As for Bannon, the judge said he'll hold off on imposing the sentence while Bannon appeals. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Bannon is also facing separate legal problems in New York. Last month, prosecutors charged him with money laundering, conspiracy, and scheming to defraud donors who wanted to build a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico. Bannon called those charges politically motivated. Now, there's lots of speculation today about who will become Britain's next prime minister after embattled leader Liz Truss announced her resignation. The Conservatives' historically short 6 weeks at 10 Downing Street was marked by economic and political turmoil. Some say Boris Johnson, who also recently was forced to step down, could be among the contenders to replace Truss. Known to many as the godmother of rock and roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe receives a larger-than-life honor. In less than 2 minutes, we'll show you how. But first, what do you have for us, Corrales?
Some more gorgeous weather in the forecast as we enter the weekend, continuing to stay fair and warm for us. It will be a bit windy. We do have rain to talk about as well. More on that coming up.